Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Naso from Shishi to Shvi'i. We continue an analysis of the Korbonos of the Nesiim. This starts in Perek Zayin, Pasuk Men Beis or Men Gimel, and all the Korbonos seem identical. Simply put, it's Hashem, which normally we don't repeat things in the Torah unnecessarily. So what is the reason why we have 12 essentially identical Korbanos? So one is that Hashem loves the Achdus, and that story was discussed in a previous short Vort, probably on Hanukkah. So we ask you to look closely and figure out, can you see the difference between the different Korbanos Nesiim? So we start on the sixth day in Shvi'i. El Yosef ben Deuel, the Mate Gad. Where does his name come from? His name comes from El Yosef, is from Kel Yosef. The people of Gad, the tribe of Gad, they were promised that if they went to war with the Bnei Yisrael, then they would be rewarded with wealth and natural possessions. So Kel Yosef, El Yosef. Deuel refers to a story when they returned from the battle of conquering Eretz Yisrael, and they found that their sons, who had been left at young ages, were battling an enemy, and they came to assist them when they heard the cry Shema Yisrael, or Du'u Kels. They recognized God. That's why they had the representative, his name was Deuel, and he was also called Reuel elsewhere in the Parsha, El Yosef ben Deuel. So the gift that he gave for the Korbanos, they tell a story about their motivation. Even though they looked outwardly the same as the other tribes before him, they were references to the Egyptian exile. The Bnei Gad, when they left Egypt, they were more relaxed than the other tribes. The other tribes were afraid to fight the Gentile enemies, but because Avram had promised that the troops of God shall go out to battle and will be successful, they were not afraid. So they were able to have peace and serenity, and they enjoyed, they looked forward to Yitzias Mitzrayim without fear, and therefore their gifts alluded to this. For example, they offered kaf achas, one golden spoon, and that was the weight of 10 shekel. This hints to the 10 plagues that the Egyptians were struck with by Moshe's hand. But kaf is also a palm, a fist, not just the ladle as a literal translation. The Torah also alludes to the dishes that were 210 shekel in total weight. That's 130 in the bowl, 70 for the basin, and 10 for the spoon. And that symbolizes together 210 for the 210 years that the Bnei Yisrael stayed in Egypt, and that Hashem gave them divine protection so they would not be destroyed and assimilated or destroyed. Hashem liked these allusions and therefore concludes that Zeh Korban al Yosef ben Deuel. On the seventh day, which was a Shabbos, then we had Elishama ben Amihud, the Nasi of the tribe of Ephraim, which was one of the Bnei Yosef. So normally you don't give a Korban of a Yachid on Shabbos, only a Korban Tzibur. Why in this case was it allowed? So it's related to in deference to an appreciation of Yosef Hatzadik, who even before Shabbos was given, he kept Shabbos in Israel, and when his brothers came down, he ordered his son Menashe to prepare a Friday meal for the Shabbos meal on Friday. And so because of this honor that Yosef already showed for Shabbos, his descendant had personal Korbon on the Shabbos. His son was Elishama, which refers to Yosef's merit, that he listened to me, Eli Shama, and not to the persuasions of the seductions of Potiphar's wife. Also, it refers to the Amihud. This was with Yosef Imihaya. He was with me, Hashem says, and not with her, not with Potiphar's wife again. And the significance of his gifts, they relate to the special status of Yosef's son Ephraim, who Yaakov had elevated above his older brother. And one more example of the eighth day. That was Gamliel ben Pedatsur from the tribe of Menashe. And his name represents that God requited me. This is also talking about Yosef's piety, that Gamal Kel, the God was with me and gave me rewards for my deeds. And Pedatsur is that the Tzur, the rock, redeemed me pada from imprisonment that it took. He's remembering that Hashem took out Yosef from the jail in Egypt. And his Korbonos represented the Yaakov's special love for Yosef. And they also symbolize the history of the Shevet. So, for example, the Ka'ara, the silver bowl, symbolized that Yaakov had uprooted Akar, the birthright from Reuven, and given it to Yosef to become the Bachar. And the bowls had a symbolic, the weight of 130 shekel, alluded to Yaakov's age, 130, when he went down to Egypt to reunite with his son Yosef. The Mizrach, the basin, symbolized that Yosef was cast away, that Nizrak, and sold to Egypt. And the basin's weight was 70 shekel. And as a result of Yosef's being sold, what happened? 70 of Yaakov's family, the souls of Yaakov, went down to Egypt. And once again, Hashem approved the kavanos of these gifts, of this korbanos, and concludes, Ze korban gamliel be'Tzur. So take a look at the ninth day and find out for yourself how that was special, even though it looked the same to all the other korbanos. So don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to share. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos.